This hour is sponsored by Bitcentral, efficient media workflows.
This is NAB Show Live.
Let's start with, we got Fred Fourcher, CEO and founder of Bitcentral. Next to him we have Kenny Elcock, Director of Engineering and Operations for Black News Channel. And next to him we have David Hemingway, Senior Product Manager of the new ventures at Bitcentral. So why don't I start with you, Fred? And first, I see you have sort of an interesting button on there. What's that all about?
Well, 10x, that's the amount of revenue increase you can see with our new product, Fuel. What Fuel is it's a completely new and very different platform, and it's for the production, streaming, and monetization of online video.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So can you tell the audience a little bit about what Bitcentral is and how you guys got started?
Very good. Bitcentral is the leader in news production systems. And what that is that's from camera to air, everything it takes to produce video. And this is for the on-air side of the business. And we're in about 250 of the 600 news-producing TV stations in the country.
Oh, fantastic. So, Kenny, you're part of something I think is pretty special. It's a new channel. There hasn't been a lot of new channels launched in a while. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're part of, and then some of the challenges you've been facing as you've been, getting this thing ready to launch?
Well, we have a good opportunity to create something that we think is different. I think the market is definitely needed a product like what we're trying to deliver. The Afro-American community or the Black community has been pigeonholed, we think, as far as, this is what we're known for. We're just not known for being athletes. We're just not known for being, entertainers. There are doctors, there are lawyers, there's engineers, there's myself. And I think we looked at how the news is being shared, how the news is being delivered. Mm-hmm. And our product, what we're trying to deliver, is a different side of that product. Tell that other side of the story.
So as you're going down this venture, what are some of the challenges that you've been facing? Because I believe you're launching in November.
We're launching in November.
So you're getting all this stuff ready to go, and so you have kind of a unique perspective that you see what the industry is doing, and you've seen the challenge. What challenges have you faced?
One of the main challenges we have, our main goal is to develop and to deliver a linear feed via cable. But we also know a lot of our viewers, they have OTT needs, they have digital needs. They are also social web, app type of viewers. So we know when we deliver, we need to be able to tell our story to the multitudes of platforms. Mm-hmm. And that's probably one of the most challenging things that we've encountered, how to deliver to the broader audience, even though it's a narrow market, but to that broader audience all at the same time.
So David, you've heard these challenges. How is Bitcentral sort of addressing these challenges?
Yeah, so like other broadcasters, the challenge really is to be able to provide their online audience with an engaging experience that's TV quality to give them the opportunity to really monetize their content. Mm-hmm. So what Fuel is doing, it's a TV-like dynamic streaming platform that provides the ability to be able to extend the engagement and to be able to better monetize all of the content. And we're seeing some terrific results. Okay,
wonderful. So I know, coming from a broadcast background, having worked in the engineering aspect of it, managing a lot of this stuff becomes very difficult. Have you found, as you're trying to solve these problems, that these technologies that Bitcentral is developing, the products that they're selling, have they really been helping you?
Well, I think this is one of the blessings we have. This is a great opportunity for BNC and Bitcentral to partner up, because I firmly believe that Bitcentral has the tools, the infrastructure, the know-how to help us deliver our story. Mm-hmm. For us, we were all about the workflow. So again, we know there's a lot of consolidation that has happened in the business, and we need to share that story, not just one way, but multiple ways. Mm-hmm. The product Fuel has allowed us to share that story. It's allowed us to go ahead and maximize that coverage, in the spur of the moment. So live news will really be live news for us, mm-hmm. not just in the linear feed, but on our digital platform, mm-hmm. our Facebook. So for us, for us, it's exciting, because now let's just say, for example, in a small markets are now large markets, so it really gates that competitive advantage for us.
So, Fred, you've been in the industry a long time, and Bitcentral's been around for a while. What have you seen as drivers to what you guys are delivering that's helped you sort of develop this application?
Well, it's the online viewing experience. Traditionally hasn't been that great. And I think we all really want to watch news, and we would love to watch it online. And the problem, if it was easy to fix, someone would have done it a long time ago. And it stemmed to the beginning of the workflow, and that's an area that we're really expert in, and all the way through to the monetization. So we needed to fix a number of things along the way, and that's what Fuel does, is it really improves the viewing experience dramatically from what it was before, and giving us an experience that we all want, right? And then the monetization so that the customers can make money with their content online is really one of the most important things as well.
So, David, have you seen, going to your customers and potential customers, a real interest in doing these types of things, making this viewing experience across multiple platforms similar where it needs to be similar and different where it needs to be different?
So, so we're seeing very similar, when we go and visit our customers and prospective customers, we're hearing the same thing. It really is a desire to be able to create the digital content, to be able to make that a revenue opportunity and a revenue source for the stations. And so it has been a real challenge. And so, part of Fuel is providing that tool set to be able to have an easy workflow, to be able to get content out there, but also in terms of this linear experience and being able to monetize that content, build channels very easily, and to really kind of capture the audience and really how they're wanting to be able to view the content, especially as content moves over to the OTT environment where the expectation is it needs to look as good as TV.
For us, I think it's a game changer. It's really a game changer because we coming out of the gate slightly late. Now we have a competitive advantage. We may not have the tool sets of some of the bigger players that have a large digital team, a large sales team. But we'll feel now we have a competitive advantage. We could balance it out, and that's exciting for us. The possibility to monetize, our program, our content from day one. That to us, not many stations, not many facilities, not many new, networks could say that.
Yep.
But I think we will be able to do that.
Oh, fantastic!
And have high the confidence of us achieving that.
Well, and one of the things that we've heard over the last 4 or 5 years is cloud. Everything's going to the cloud, and Bitcentral, you guys have been doing cloud, I think, since before cloud was cool, right? So how important was it for you to look for solutions that were either on-prem or cloud in developing what you guys are doing?
Well, a lot of we have a large cloud infrastructure with Bitcentral. The majority of our archiving base will be off the cloud. It's exciting because we'll have multiple facilities. So we have facilities in DC, we have facilities in Atlanta, we have facilities in Houston, and all those will have cloud access. So for us, even though the content will be generated and created in Tallahassee, getting access to it via the cloud, said again, now we are competitive. We are one of the big boys. So we're coming in there in the game with a full brand new shoes, brand new bats, and we're ready to play.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're excited about that.
So David, I know in my day job with my customers, there's this fear of the cloud. At least it's been that way for a little while, but they seem to be warming up and adopting it more and seeing the ability to fix challenges they have. Have you seen from your customer base sort of that same sort of cloud is no longer scary?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a huge receptiveness for the cloud space just because the opportunity it provides for content. Contributors can be anywhere. Could be a journalist out, shooting a story. It doesn't necessarily have to be on air. It can go straight into the stream, and the ability just to be able to have as many people in the newsroom and outside of the newsroom involved in using the tool set because it is cloud-based. You don't have to be on-prem to be able to use it.
Have you seen any challenges, I know with cloud, because your product, Fuel, if I understand correctly, is both works with pre-recorded as well as live, and live in the cloud has always been a little bit of a challenge. Have you seen, more customers sort of adopting, and how have you sort of fit your product into that live aspect?
So that's a good question. So for the news station specifically, many of them are already streaming their newscasts live already, and not doing a great job of it. Yep. So, part of our challenge was to be able to take that and elevate the quality of that, but also what Fuel does is it reinserts digital ads and replaces the on-air ads to be able to make sure that newscast that you're watching online is monetized, whether it be live or recorded. Mm-hmm. So that really has been one of our challenges in working in the cloud and with live. It's not easy, and we've spent a couple of years trying to be able to get this thing to where it is today. And so the ad insertion and then the quality of the live really is important. And for the news stations, it's already a product that they're already generating. So there's no new extra effort that they need to do to be able to get that out there. We just need to do a better job of monetizing it and distributing that content.
Okay. Fred, you've obviously been in the industry a long time, and we've seen different products come and go, and you guys have just been doing great and growing. Have you seen, obviously this product is very much sort of news focused, but do you see other verticals where this can be applied?
Absolutely. News is our heritage, but what we see is that the production process for news is very common across all kinds of content, especially short form, even in sports, esports, et cetera. And that Fuel can be applied to any kind of content, long form, short form. And so we're seeing some new applications in outdoor content and sporting content and others that Fuel is going to be adopted for.
All right, wonderful. So Kenny, obviously you're a very interesting new channel, a wonderful parent company from what I read about. Are you able to influence other things that they're wanting to do and sort of you being the first ones out the gate, sort of drive where these other things are going to go?
This opportunity allows us to luck out in the future. Mm-hmm. Having Bitcentral as part of the team allows us to look ahead more than just, the date of installation, the date of delivery. The workflow for us is going to be a lot simpler. The ease of getting a story to air would be a lot simpler. Mm-hmm. The ease of getting local stories. Let me just give you an example. We're really excited about this. Now you have small towns, small urban area schools. Let's just say that, the schools have some challenges there. They're able to connect to us, and that can become a live event a lot quicker than they go into some of our competitors, even though we're a narrow market. And because we are so set up with Bitcentral and we have all the tools that we need, we're extremely competitive. So from story to live, for us, is instantaneous. Mm-hmm. So we think we're trendsetters. All right. Even though we're new, I think we will actually become trendsetters.
So this will be maybe an off-the-wall question, but I always like to get people who are in the industry. We've always seen sort of the traditional broadcast and web as being two different, or OTTs being two different aspects. Are you seeing more of an integration between the two? Or are you looking at it as one property or two different properties?
We see this one. Mm-hmm. We see this content. We see this digital content. I have a 21-year-old son, and he watches the linear feed, and he has his phone, and he has his laptop, and he has his Xbox all going at the same time. The reality of it, we are all on all those platforms because of this partnership we have. So we're going to get those. We'll get a story out. We'll get that story out. We're not separating the two. The content for us, we understand that content is key. And to our viewers, they understand content is key, and they want good content. They want the other side of what has been delivered to them, and we're going to provide that.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So, David, you've what Kenny's team's doing. It sounds fantastic. Obviously, Fuel's a relatively new product for you guys. Where do you see its future? Where do you see its growth going?
I think it's really unlimited at the moment. It's really about content owners, broadcasters that have content that want to be able to provide a better viewing experience to be able to better monetize it. So, any type of content owner that's throwing stuff up onto Facebook, that's trying to monetize that way, they're obviously not monetizing very well. If it's good content, we can get it into Fuel to be able to get that into a much better position to be able to monetize that. So it really is unlimited. We're focused in on news to start out with because that's where Bitcentral has come from, but we really do see there's a really large opportunity outside of news with the content owners and broadcasters.
Mm-hmm. So Fred, there's the industry's growing. There's a lot. Everything's becoming software. There's a lot of players. What challenges do you see from BitCentral's perspective as to where you need to address what's going on in the market?
Well, when we look at the transition really from traditional broadcast systems into systems that can essentially, for example, in news, we'll use it as a story-centric workflow, where you go from, it used to be you'd have content that was produced for on-air and content that was produced for online. And going forward, that's going to be one team. It's going to all come together. And so as a provider of both those systems, we're going to see these things coming together so that content is content, and we're going to produce it in the most efficient way possible, and we're going to disseminate it also in the most efficient way possible. And that's really where I see the future going.
Okay, Kenny, with the event, I actually want to call it an adventure you're on, because it sounds like it's a really interesting opportunity. If you had to say what your biggest challenge was from an operational perspective, what do you think that is, and how is Fuel going to sort of help you overcome that?
I think the biggest challenge that we're experiencing, or we have from the operational side, is to modernize the workflow, not to be stuck in the traditional pattern of a broadcast operation, or to be stuck in a pattern of a traditional network operation. Even though we are a network, we had to realize in order for us to be competitive, we need to do something different. And let's just say a little risque, but it's different being risque when you have the backing of somebody who's done these type of things before. So yeah, we could be a little bit aggressive, and we could structure the workflow, and they helped us redesign the workflow. They help us understand once a story is created, how we could deliver that content, that story, to multiple platforms. And this is the ease of it. So now, we're probably, we're confident. We're confident because we have the backing of redefining that workflow so we could be competitive in the market.
David, with the new application and new ventures like Kenny's, are you seeing more and more things like this happening, where you've got, what was traditional broadcasters moving into these new spaces, or non-traditional broadcasters becoming more broadcasters and being able to utilize Fuel as a solution?
Yeah, I think so. Just because of the way that the consumer habit is about, consuming their content, whether it's, and people are going online, so there needs to be an adjustments. And so we are seeing a lot of that, and also, as part of Fuel, we're trying to move that industry needle, around, making sure that an ad break is filled without repeating any ads at all, because that's typical within the industry, and it's almost like a kind of an expectation right now. You expect to see a repeated ad, but we're focusing on making sure those aren't repeated, and also really focusing on the mid-roll ads as opposed to the traditional VOD experience, where they just, a large percentage of the viewers just drop off because it's just so annoying. So, the broadcasters are really trying to be able to figure out the best way to go. With Fuel, we think we have the right solution to be able to get them on board. We're seeing the results we were expecting, and we're really excited about, how things are going to move forward.
So it sounds like a really interesting application, solution, and advertising, the big thing seems to be targeted ads. Are you seeing, Fred, in your perspective, more of a demand for targeted ads, or is it more better ads to the right people as opposed to target? I know that's sort of maybe a difference without distinction, but what are you seeing from your customers?
Well, it's what we would all want. Do we want to watch an ad that is completely irrelevant to us? No, we're going to move on. And so with BitCentral and Fuel, we're about engagement. We want the viewer to be satisfied, both with the content and the advertising. So a targeted ad gives you an ad that you're interested in versus something you're completely not interested in. The same with the content. We don't repeat content.
Yep.
So if you were to go into a Fuel stream and not see the same story again and again, you're going to stick around longer. And the same thing with the advertising. So those are some of the big issues in the industry today in streaming, is that you see the same ad over and over again, and that drives the viewers away. You see the same content over and over again, that drives the viewers away. That doesn't happen with Fuel.
Oh, fantastic. Kind of sort of the same question. As you mentioned, you have, it's not just athletes and entertainers, it's doctors and lawyers. And so how important is it to get that message, those right ads to the right people utilizing this type of solution?
Well, and you just said it. Now we have, especially with the ads, we could narrowcast those ads. We could become specific. We could tailor the content with the ads a little bit. So for us, said again, the revenue opportunities is great. The ability to go ahead and broaden our storytelling is greater. Because we know that once they see the content, once our viewers see the content, they're going to stay on longer. And because they stay on longer, then we could tailor the ads according to their viewability or to their links. So again, it's a win-win for us.
All right.
It's a win-win for us. It's a win-win for our viewers. It's a win-win for Bitcentral.
So, David, there's obviously, we get the ads out. We want to understand what the viewers are looking at. Is there some type of metric or analysis that's part of this platform that helps the end customer?
Yeah, so Fuel is really interested in three main metrics. The first one is the hours viewed. We want to make sure that the total hours viewed is actually going up. We a high focus on the duration of each video session, because that really is where we're seeing the biggest growth in terms of what's happening in the past and using Fuel to be able to extend that engagement because of the quality experience. And then lastly, how many ad impressions are those hours viewed and durations creating? That's new for the broadcaster, so it's new revenue for the broadcaster to be able to, for that existing content.
So Fred, where's Bitcentral going? So if you had to look 5 years down the road, where's the most important area for you guys to focus as an organization?
Well, Fuel is really the future, because ultimately what will happen is under this platform, cloud-based platform, a lot can be done. And unifying content together, unifying production processes together so that it simplifies workflows, it creates essentially one workflow for all content. We shouldn't be having separate teams doing different things. And that's really where I see this just keep going and going. But most importantly, it's the viewing experience. I want to be able to go home, watch the news anytime I want, see the most relevant news to me, and have that on any device that I want to view it on. I can't get that today. And to me, we'll be successful when that's ubiquitous and everybody can enjoy that experience.
Kenny, if you had to give advice to somebody, an organization that's going to start a brand new network in this, sort of challenging environment, we have lots and lots of eyeballs, lots and lots of places for people to go view content, but from an engineering perspective, from a ground up, what would be the most important piece of information that you would give them?
Well, we looked at it as I have to be careful because I am an engineer.
Yeah.
So I focus on the technical aspect of the design and what they were looking to do. I looked at the back end, but for me to really click, I had to look on the opposite end. I looked at, okay, I'm a viewer. I fit the market we're trying to, advertise to, the market we're delivering. So I looked at it from that standpoint, and I saw the ease. I saw the portability. I saw, where the trend is going. So it was simple. It was simple for me, being just the average viewer, not just an engineer. So to me, I combine both. Engineering, I know functionally they're going to work right. I know technically things is going to happen the right end. Then from the viewer standpoint, I'm not going to get slapped with a whole bunch of flash ads all over the place, but I'm going to get ads the right way with the content that I desire. So it made sense.
Oh, perfect. So David, sort of a similar question, a little left field from Fred's, is because you're closer to the customers, I think, with being on the product side. What do you think your customers' biggest challenges are going to be over, say, the next 36 months?
I think it's just looking at it in a different way. They've been used to doing it the same way, when just kind of taking, for the news, taking clips, from their existing newscasts, and then kind of having difficulty in publishing those out, and then throwing some of those onto social media and then some on their website, but really not looking at it like they do have good content. And if they can elevate that video, the viewing experience, and to be able to get the right tool set behind them, there's a really opportunity to get it off of social media, take control of their content. There's a real opportunity to be able to start making some revenue from that content. as the industry's changing. It really, I think it's kind of the time is now. It's hard to be able to make a change, but really it is the right time.
All right, so we're coming up on the end here real quick. So, Fred, if you had to give advice to your potential customers, things that they need to consider that are challenges, what would that be, and how would you inform them of what Bitcentral can do for them?
Well, that's a great question, because if you think of the challenges in the industry today, that the on-air audience is slowly declining, and they're moving to other devices. So how do you transition literally everything you do in an organization? And it's hard. So with the tools that we have at Bitcentral, with the teams we have at Bitcentral, with the support we have at Bitcentral, we're helping those broadcasters kind of move from the traditional, what they know today, to a new world where there's more potential, where there's growth, and easing that transition. And we give them peace of mind in doing that.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Kenny, I'm going to let you have the last word. I think what you guys are doing is fantastic. I want you to give an ad, to tell the people exactly what your new venture is and what it's going to bring to the industry and the community.
Well, come in November 2019, True Illumination, the Black News Channel, would be on the air. Please look at your local cable channels, look at DirecTV, your local channels. We're here to tell the other story. We're here to tell the other side of the story. We're here to tell the expanded story. So come to stations near you, Black News Channel.
So what's your target audience that you guys are looking to have launched? I think that's pretty amazing for a brand new station to have, or network to have, this sort of target.
What's the target? Who's our target audience?
Yeah. I mean, size of the target audience. That was kind of amazing.
I think the target audience for us, it's anyone who wants to know the other side of the story, honestly and truly. We are in news events, and I'm not going to mention any competitors' names, and the three letters, but we're here to share that other side of the story. Well, we're here to share that expanded story.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you all. I think this was a great conversation. Very interested to hear about what Bitcentral is doing.
This hour is sponsored by Bitcentral, efficient media workflows.